All right, as freelance writers, pretty much all of us, we're used to looking for jobs online. That's what we do. We go through job boards, we send cold emails, we think about working remotely, traveling the world, working from home. But because of that, we often overlook one of the very best places to get freelance writing jobs. What is that place? Well, you might be able to guess, but that's what we're talking about in today's video. Let's get into it. So back when I was doing freelance SEO, one of my favorite ways to get new clients was to go to in-person meetups in complementary industries. We get so caught up with the world of the internet that we often forget, oh yeah, people, there's real people. You can go find them in real life, like they did in the olden days before the internet. And so what I would do is I would go to in-person meetups in complementary industries. So for instance, I'd go to a web design meetup where I meet a bunch of other web designers who aren't professional SEOs, but they're building websites for their clients that want those websites to be search optimized. So they would come to me and say, hey, we're building this website for this client. That client needs some SEO work. Would you like to partner with us? Yes, I would love to do that. In-person meetups in complementary industries. If you just stick to SEO meetups, for instance, you're going to make a lot of good connections. You're probably going to learn a lot, but you might not get as many jobs because everyone there, they're all looking for the same thing as you, those SEO jobs. So by going to in-person meetups in complementary industries, you might end up finding more work. So how does this relate to freelance writing? So I just wanted to throw out that little tip and give that backstory because it is one of the most useful things I've done in my freelance career. But that's not specifically what we're talking about today. The thing that often gets overlooked with freelance writers when they're looking for jobs is finding jobs in their hometown, finding local jobs with local businesses. There's all these jobs that are sitting right under your nose, and the best part is these are some of the easiest jobs to get. So how do you find them? How do you get them? Let's get into it. So right now, as we sit, there is a huge opportunity for freelance writers and copywriters in your hometown. Bars, restaurants, florists, dentist's office, you name it. All of these small businesses that probably don't have a dedicated marketing team. They don't necessarily know a whole lot about marketing, but they can benefit from marketing and writing and blogging in all the same ways that all of those online businesses do. And in fact, they might stand to benefit more because so many of these physical in-person businesses overlook it, they don't think about it, and they don't have the bandwidth to do it. That's where you come in. If I were you, I would spend a little bit of time thinking about what services you could offer an in-person business. Things like managing their emails and building a newsletter, things like social media, things like blogging and getting search traffic. All of these things have the potential to have a huge impact on a local business, and they're probably just not thinking about it and they don't have the bandwidth to do it. So the good news for you is because there's so much opportunity with these businesses that you can make a relatively big impact for a relatively little amount of work. So as an example, let's say you want to specialize in helping local businesses optimize their email list. What I see so often is all of these local businesses, they have a pretty big list of customers, or they have people that have signed up for their newsletters. And you know what those businesses are doing with that email list? Absolutely nothing. It's just sitting there. Hundreds, if not thousands of people are just sitting there waiting for a special deal, waiting for some information, waiting to be reminded that this business even exists. Yet because these local businesses are often so focused on serving their in-person customers, they don't have a dedicated marketing department and they don't think about going to the internet to do that. So imagine you find 5 local businesses. For each of them, you say you will help them with their email strategy for $500 a month. All of a sudden, that's an extra $2,500 a month for you without necessarily doing a whole lot of work. These emails can be very simple to write. You can follow the same formula for each of them, and you're going to end up generating more sales if they have been neglecting this list. So everybody has the potential to win here. Or maybe, for instance, email's not your thing, you want to focus on content marketing. So let's say there's a barbecue restaurant in your hometown. You can help them write content to get them to rank for best barbecue restaurant in whatever town it is. And because most of the barbecue businesses probably aren't thinking much about content marketing, they probably don't have a blog, they probably don't have optimized content for that term, that gives a huge opportunity for you to come in and get some small wins for this new business. So how do you actually go about doing this? Well, first off, you should decide if you want to niche down. Do you want to focus on dentists? Do you want to focus on landscapers? Do you want to focus on florists? If so, it gets a lot easier. You can go to the internet, search for florists in Portland, Oregon, and you can find a big list of all of the florists in Portland, Oregon. If you want to take things a step further, you can then take that list and you can go in and introduce yourself in every single one of those businesses. There is so much magic to meeting someone in person. So much of what we talk about here at Location Rebel is about cold email. It's about finding these businesses, building relationships, conjuring them out of thin air via email. But if you can actually meet someone and shake their hand and build a little bit of rapport, it gets so much easier to turn that person into a client, build a positive relationship where everybody wins. That being said, let's say you're an introvert and you don't want to go meet people in person. Well, all of the same cold email strategies still apply and are even more effective than if you were doing it just kind of out of the blue to some random organization across the country. Because you already have something in common, you can send an email that's saying, hey, my name's Sean. I'm a professional marketer and copywriter for florists. I also live in Portland. I love what you're doing. I actually just bought some flowers for my mom from your place. This is great. I've got a whole bunch of ideas that I think might help you get more business for relatively little work. Is this something you'd like to talk more about? And then see where it goes. Open up the conversation, and if they say, yes, I'm interested, then you can say, great, I'll swing by and we can say hi, we can meet in person, and I can tell you a little bit more about myself and what I'm up to. In my experience, the single most powerful rapport factor is location. So if I'm traveling in a different place and all of a sudden I see someone wearing like an Oregon State sweatshirt, I immediately go up to that person and I say, hey, go Beavs. Like that location and that living in the same place, there is so much that goes into it. It's almost like it's an instant connection. It's an instant friend. And so when someone's thinking about maybe getting some marketing work, they're getting someone that's going to help with some of their emails, to know that they've got a person that knows their city, knows their location, that's just going to make it that much easier to get them on board with you and get them to trust you. So there's lots of other ways you can get in touch with some of these local businesses without having to literally Google what they are and send them a cold email or show up. Many of these small businesses are members of the Chamber of Commerce. So go and get a list of all of the businesses that are part of the Chamber of Commerce and look them up. See if there's any networking events, social happy hours. There's probably a lot of events like this going on in your hometown that you may have overlooked that have the potential to open up a lot of doors and give yourself a lot of opportunities. This comes full circle back to my strategy of going to in-person meetups in complementary industries. There's so much that can be done in person. So just by starting to think about, how can I get some work in my hometown? How can I get some work from the businesses that are around me? How can I help out small businesses that probably don't have a huge marketing budget, but might be able to afford $500 or $1,000 a month for someone that can essentially do a turnkey operation and help them make more sales, help them get more search traffic, and help them get more customers. So there you go. That's my tip for today. And if anybody actually takes this and applies it, I have a feeling you're gonna be really happy with the results, because again, this is one of those things that often get overlooked and people just don't do. They say, you know what, like I'm just looking for that big $10,000 a month client. I don't want to deal with some small local business, but often those small local businesses, they can be the most fun relationships to have and can turn into genuine friendships. You can make the biggest impact quickly, and it can have a positive effect on the businesses within your local community, which is really cool. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Location Rebel, where we teach you how to make money on the internet with your words. If that sounds interesting, we've got a free 6-day course that's gonna walk you through everything you need to know to build a freelance writing business online. Go to locationrebel.com/hi and you can get it immediately. And if you got some value out of this video, maybe consider the old thumbs up, subscribe button, notification bell, all the stuff. With that, I hope you learned something, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.